Hey, wait, this isn't your map. I don't care. So, well, as most of you know, PookieMappers is basically over. So this map, well, it's not over. It's being restarted, I think, which includes the WICSO. So I just have this map now. And I'm going to do something to my favorite country out of all of the countries on this map, which is Korea, of course. Sorry, it's not perfect, but this is what the world looks like now. I'm bringing Korea to the real world. Now, Korea, just minding their own business, they're going to be pretty confused because a lot of the shipping in the whatever this is called and the Japanese Sea, all of the shipping, the cargo ships that are belonging to their allies, boom, gone. They just suddenly don't exist anymore. Like they're literally witnessing it on the docks. This raises some concern because like it's not like they just blew up. They straight up just ceased to exist. And so they try sending this information to one of their closest allies, which is Japan. But this is a very different Japan. Japan messages back in a language that they don't understand. Probably what Japan said is, we have no idea what your language is, and we have no idea if you can understand us. They can't. So they send send people and messages over to their one other closest ally. And they just see a very big city in the wrong place that looks completely different. There's a lot of people, and they're like speaking a completely different language than them. They try to send stuff up, and there's literally nothing there. And they're getting random like shipping containers from the US here, and eventually these borders, like there's people moving in through roads, and they're confused because this is really populated in real life and in the WICSO. But obviously the infrastructure looks different. And so this kind of raises some alarms in basically the whole world because look here. Suddenly the US stops getting information from almost the whole West and Hawaii. They send stuff over there, and there's some people that are just speaking a completely different language. Again, California and like Utah, Idaho, a little bit of the random states that are filled with absolutely nothing except for a bit of Colorado. And then we got, I think we have, oh great, they have Las Vegas, which doesn't exist, so it no longer exists at all. Yeah, like it's not like all the people, like it's completely replacing it. So all the infrastructure, uh, everything is being just like placed down, which also means that because climate change is not as much of a problem in the WICSO, especially in the US area, or at least where the US would be in their timeline, I guess. Not timeline, universe. So over here is kind of covered in like the normal smog and pollution that the U.S. is, and then this is just Cupertino, very green valley. They also own Mexico, which Mexico is actually going to instantly, for some reason, start trying to fight back, thinking that it's some sort of attack or invasion, uh, which they're completely wrong. That's not what this is. But they're gonna just do it anyways. They're invading in, putting a lot of their force. But all of California's, like, not all, but a large majority of California's just home base force. Yeah. So the WICSO is actually, I think it's a little bit in the future or just behind the present. And I think Korea is like up in power, like close to the US in power, but way like Britain. I don't know where I was at because I had to go do something real quick. But oh yeah, um, they have like the power of I don't know. They have the military, like, I don't know. They're close in politics and military power and all that to the in the U.S. However, they have like the population of Britain, um, just because they're kind of compacted into. Maybe they have a lot because I don't know. They do have all of this and all of that. And in real life, the West is like very barren. They could have transformed it and populated it a lot more. So who knows? Maybe they have almost the same population as the U.S., or at least what the U.S. used to have. But they make a pretty swift uh, invasion into Mexico, which is definitely interesting because I don't think our Wixos had a an agreement on what is morally right during war or not. So, but they do follow their normal morals. They follow their citizens' morals. Mexico's just going to give up really fast. In a peace treaty, nothing happens because they don't want to take anything right now. They want to figure out what is happening right now. Eventually, they're going to get some, like, because they have translation technology, and they're going to kind of like quote unquote talk with China to kind of get some of their technology databases into theirs so that they can translate every single language on this planet, or at least as many that China actually has. And they're going to start trying to figure out what's going on with China. They're going to try to figure out what's going on with the US, Mexico, and Russia, and Japan. Don't forget Japan. Yeah. It's definitely weird for them because to them, China is theirs, or not theirs, but one of their closest allies because it used to literally just be them. And this little pocket of constantly fighting each other. They send some messages to the Philippines uh, talking about what the Philippines is going to do with all these new weird countries. And the Philippines responds with, "What are you talking about?" And so eventually, when they start gathering maps from like other countries, especially like just the United Nations, sending them a world map, and yeah, it's completely different. They have no idea what any of these countries are, but they untranslate all of them into uh, the names for their language, and boom, they now have their thing, which is definitely a very interesting thing. The United States is actually going to uh, they're going to offer a like peace deal so that first of all they want to have access to their land because the US thinks that the what's it called thinks that Las Vegas and all of California is still the way it is in real life. All the Asian countries were very quick to find out that the land here is completely different. Um, like Tokyo, I'm pretty sure it just doesn't exist anymore. Like this is really populated, so imagine Tokyo, but kind of just like spread all across all of this. That's kind of what this southern part is. Now, uh, Japan is going to stop getting support by the U.S. I wonder why. I could only wonder why they would have a struggle reaching Japan. And suddenly, it's super expensive to fly across a ginormous ocean. And so it's just not worth it to send supplies. So Japan is going to be like, okay, we're going to fight them anyways. We don't need your help. We're going to take our land that we just barely lost because this is unfair. We don't even know what these guys are, and we don't even care. So they begin a very large scale invasion. However, there's not too many people, as majority of uh, Japan's population is from the southern part. This is kind of like it's decently populated here and here, but right here is kind of like country. I mean, even here is also country, but it's definitely a lot harder to um, succeed when you don't have that many people. They invade into the region where Tokyo would be, and it's not there. It's just a bunch of city. And it's actually starting to get really hard to invade now that a ginormous naval blockade is coming straight for them. Yeah, we're going to see like large naval invasion into here as well. And yeah, most of Japan's navy, again, it's a lot in the south, a decent amount in the rest, but not enough. They mainly just send one big naval, well, amphibious attack into this top part, thinking that it's pretty populated because it is in WICSO. As you can see, look right here, really populated. This is the most populated, but this is still pretty populated. Yeah, gone, and well, this is gonna be kind of sad to watch. It's just gonna be a whole lot of Japan doing nothing, and they're not gonna surrender, not yet, uh, until eventually they're left as this, still getting invaded, and then they surrender. This is what the peace tree is going to look like. Look familiar? Yeah, because it is. They kind of just dismantled Japan into what they're familiar with. And they're also kind of like just, these are kind of puppet states in a way. But the people of Japan are kind of like, I don't care. As long as we can live a normal, happy life like we did before, we'll be fine. Korea's even going to let them keep yen as their currency. They're just going to kind of make it easier to switch yen and the Korean dollar between each other. Now, Korea wants to do this with every single country that they can find, which is obviously not going to work, especially in the West, but they kind of don't care about the West other than like they can just keep their stuff over here, be allies right here. But China is very intimidated by the fact that they kind of just did this to Japan. China and Russia, because they have allied with the U.S. Both of these guys now kind of angry at these dudes because what are you doing? You're allying with the enemy. You're just like South Korea and Japan. Now, at this point, the leader is like very stressed because he has no idea what's happening. He's just now starting to get a grasp of, because like even though they know what's happening, like they do, but it's still very confusing how this just happened. And they're trying to figure that out. So is every other major country. The UN and like basically all of NATO is trying to figure out what is going on. Why did these people just come out of another universe? Suddenly, we're going to see Korea ask China if their greatest ally can get, well, if it can get released. Now, obviously, China's not going to accept this because China is going to be like, this is a fake country. If anything, you're a fake country. You have fake people. You shouldn't exist. That's a little bit too far, but, you know, it's China. I guess to like keep consistency, we're going to make China this color. They're going to declare war on Korea, which is going to cause some problems. We're going to see the U.S. get involved. Don't ask why it's Michigan's color of all of the countries here, but it is. The U.S. is going to get involved, and so is basically all of NATO, which I'm not going to color that in. It's going to take way too much time. But I think Russia would probably also get involved because they need some land. Hunter, if you're watching this, I hope you're happy. I made your stupid Russian, not stupid, but I made your Russian country into Russia. Aren't I so nice to do that? Yeah. You know. Korea is definitely going to struggle during this, but they got some things. Well, China has some things to do before this starts. Yep. Decently large invasion is going to go straight. That is a not very. Oh, I know why. China is going to send a pretty decently sized invasion into Manchuria, and it's going to do pretty well. There is not as many people up here. I mean, there's still a decent amount, but not as many. They walk straight over to this peninsula right here, or this region, thinking like they're super confident. they're going to stomp over Korea. And this is all they get done because Korea is a lot more dense and powerful than they expected. We're going to see Russia like invading stuff, doing what countries do in a war, which is invading so that they can get land. And here comes literally every single every single person in the army is boarding up on the borders of California, on the coast of California, and they're shipping off. Or maybe they're shipping to Hawaii, getting all geared up, and then they're shipping off. Along with this is a bunch of other European countries. They're also building stuff up on the border, which is so sorry about that. I know this is very messy, and not everybody in colored here actually is in NATO or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be figurative, but we're going to see we're going to see a lot of cool stuff go on with Russia. Yeah, I'm sorry, but all of I guess not all of the United States forces are going. Half of United States forces are moving over to Europe, and they're taking care of Russia while they still can. All of the Ukraine stuff is flipped on its head. And I'm sorry, but Russia is not surviving all of this pressure, especially with a lot of their people moved over here because they, for some reason, thought that an ally of the U.S. wouldn't call upon the U.S. and all of the U.S. allies to attack them. I don't know what they were thinking. But they're also stopped, because technically Russia is at war with Ukraine already and is at war with another ally of the U.S. Does not look good, so... Oh, their capital's freaking gone. Oh. Sorry, this is somewhat rushed because I don't have a lot of time to... I'm probably not going to edit this video at all. But I have to post today, so that's going to be rough. Korea is going to take that. They're just going to give this to them. I need to real quick fix it, though. But, yes, doing very, very well. This all kind of distracts China, because China was trying to help Russia. Now, technically, the Russian people kind of got prisoner of war over here, but there's still a lot of their army just sitting here. So they're just joining the Chinese. And the Chinese are going to continue their streak of being pretty good at armying. Not that much. But eventually they're getting to these highly dense population areas. Like, I'd say everything... It's like this. All of this is like really, really populated. Like, I'm talking, all of this looks like Tokyo, and well, not all of it. There's little patches of country, or I guess more suburban, but it all looks like Tokyo and Beijing. That's just how populated this country actually is. we're gonna see the forces down here break a little bit as some Chinese flow straight in, and they're kind of penetrating into this really, really dense population. But eventually, they're going to lock in. They're going to especially lock in, given the fact that all of the U.S. and also now a whole bunch of European troops have just landed. U.S. troops were already going there, but now there's a lot more. And yeah, this is going to be pretty boring. They're going to instantly liberate everything that China took. And uh-oh, China's scared. You would have never thought. Sorry. I sneezed. There's going to be just mass invasions and then a naval landing and a re-liberation and another naval landing. And yeah, they take all of southern China and to Korea, they've taken out China, but they've also taken out real life China, somewhere over here. Boom. There you go. China is now completely gone. Obviously, the people are still there. They didn't actually destroy anything in Beijing. They just kind of captured the leader, and the leader was not very happy about that. Called the whole country weak, so it kind of just surrendered for the whatever China's leader is. Now let's look at a freaking peace treaty, bro. Now the UN is going to offer all of the rest of Manchuria and like Beijing, the area surrounding Beijing, to kind of connect their two pieces of land together. That's what they're offered for the peace treaty, you know. But Korea declines. Russia is well, their government is kind of being reestablished right now, so nothing's happening to the borders. But suddenly, like a big dome, like force field thing, surrounds all of Korea, or at least a general area around Korea. Boom. Oh, wait, sorry. Boom. 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 Boom, boom, boom. Son of Canada, just for measure. Yep, yep, yep. Now it's time for some of this. Yep. And then we got some of the response stuff. It's actually quite a decent amount bigger. And then we got some more bigger ones coming straight back, killing anybody who could have possibly ever existed within any of these regions. And water's just like starting to sink. Yeah, that's right. Water's evaporating and sinking. Boom. Iran's just gonna boom, 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 and boom, 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 and oh my gosh. And oh, this is leaking. China hates Russia because they're stupid and they lost the war. And the leader finally got back. And China doesn't really have anybody else to bomb. They're not going to waste their bombs on that. They're going to, real quick. Oh, sorry. Oops. Whoops. Did not mean to click that. Oh, wait. All the mountains, kill all their unpaid worker people, not people to them. I don't know. And then they're going, well, okay, so they're going to try to launch bombs, all of them. They launched quite a decent amount down here, but they're going to launch every single bomb that they possibly can at Korea. And they're just going to bounce off of the big dome border thing. Well, not the dome border is very weird. It's like shaped a certain way, so we got it like this. And they are sending some of these at really, really high power. And so we kind of just got some just like flying around. Yeah, pretty interesting. Some hitting just in the middle of the ocean. Yep. It's flying really far. China had some of the strongest nukes ever. Specifically, how far they could fly and how fast they were doing it. And also, Korea has really, really powerful stuff. Also, by the way, pretend these up here aren't here because the force field is boxed. So technically, it would actually be like this, but it's not hitting the ground. It's just kind of on top of the thing. Some of them bounce, some of them just hit and cause nuclear waste to be on top of the border that's like in the air. And suddenly, we're going to see, oh, not that, but we're going to see some of the really just ridiculous, not that big, not crazy. Yeah, some really just big bombs as China just, like, China's leader is somehow still alive. So he kind of just decides, and eventually kind of just like wipes out all of the countries that he hates the most. And there you go. That's the world. Hooray. All right, so that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This video is so freaking long. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be pre-recording some videos in the next few days so that I can keep on posting while I'm on my trip to DC. Look how nice the weather looks in DC. Also, but if you like the video, go ahead and like the video. And if you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. Drink some water and have a good day. See you in the next episode.